Blog Talk Radio.
I wanna call my home. Study war no more, live in shalom. Only 144,000 of Jacob will make it in. Is Christ your friend? No need to pretend. Here's the question: did you walk in faith or did you walk in sin? Did you keep the law or did you pick and choose? Did you tell the truth about who's the real Jew? There's no excuse. You had the clues, but you closed the book and turned on the news. And when Christ breaks the sky, every satellite will fall from space, hit the earth and die, and then fight after disaster from the master. Puzzle faces looking for the rapture. True, the day that Christ provides birth so they can walk in heaven here on earth.
That American dream, a family, a dog, a picket fence, and house that is clean. That through the happiness is led me astray. The root of evil is money, it ain't the most highway. 144,000 will bask in his glory. Life is an apartment building, cause there's more than one story. I accepted the most high, and what was I on? Day to pass like Mike, and I'm the future like LeBron. I follow the commandments to the most high said so. Red Bull and Xbox will get your wings in a halo. My people is flying, and it's making me sick. Just because you repent ain't putting you on that list. Ain't no cutting the line, ain't no paying the dough, man. Don't matter if you're rich or whether you're poor, man. If you obedient and you're filled with the faith, then the upper room will be your final resting place, and that's heaven.
The throne of the Father, you still sinning, don't even bother. You not going if you follow Sean Carter. A little Wayne, he another Carter. Came from Obama back to Jimmy Carter. America, not Babylon, it's just a daughter. Told us to visit that shrine like 2 quarters. Son's gonna die, you make you call a martyr. Don't elevate your mind, let it cross expansion. I want a room in a heavenly mansion. Don't try to figure it out your path, don't let it choose you. You can play it back, I'm not trying to confuse you. Poetical prophet, truth just be the gifted. Cerebral technician, the microphone I lifted. Thinking you can take to get in, you can save it. Signing off quad to 6-foot David.
Let me tell you what it feel like. Real right, so I'm back in the feel like. Examine yourself before the judge come in the heat of the night like O'Connor. So I'm gonna show you how to live it when I spit it through the spirit. Hope you feel it. This is the spirit that teaches when you hear it. So when it's death there, it's death there. So don't step there. But self-rearrange and let the Most High change you, my brother. That's what I utter with them dead bone tang. Use them, the strange fruit that used to hang. Now spitting out truth for the youth to change. To see us like heaven. When them guns down, when the word is your weapon and the Lord who you reppin'. Not Baal, but our masters in heaven. And there's no more jails for the nation. That's heaven. That's heaven. Heaven.
And it's the music of the Israelites right here on the Men Empowered Radio Show. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you and yours, wherever you are on the World Wide Web. You are listening to Let's Talk brought to you by the Men Empowered Organization on the Blog Talk Radio Network at blogtalkradio.com. My name is Malachi. I am your host and founder of the Men Empowered Organization. It is a Sunday, February the 17th, 2013. And if you'd like to join in on our show conversation, you can hit us up while we are here live at 347-205-9279, or you can chat with us right there in the chat room at blogtalkradio.com. So if you are ready to make a comment, you can press 1 on your phone, and we will plug you right in to our show conversation. And as always, our office here at the Men Empowered Organization is area code 504-484-9388, as well as our email address is menempoweredtoprosper@yahoo.com. And yes, we are Men Empowered at twitter.com. Okay, tonight's show is the continuation of the Book of Jasher. Joining with me tonight is my lovely wife, Amy Jo Heron, and we will start off in the Book of Jasher, chapter 16. Just want to remind you, we are here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday right here on Blog Talk Radio. Going to let you know that Maurice Item will be with us here on Thursday, February the 28th, 2013 at 8 p.m. He will be joining us at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on the Men Empowered Radio Show. So that's Maurice Item. I've been talking about him joining our show conversation for the past month, and so we nailed it down, and he will be with us, Brother Maurice Item, right here Thursday, February the 28th, 2013, right here on the Let's Talk Show. Now, my lovely wife, Amy Jo Heron, will be with us, and she will be our reader. She will be our official reader for the Book of Jasher, and we will be starting in chapter 16, but right now we're going to take a quick music break, and we will come back, and we will go ahead and get started in the Book of Jasher. The Book of Jasher, chapter 16. Okay, we're getting ready to go ahead and get started in the Book of Jasher, chapter 16. The Book of Jasher, chapter 16. But before I get started, just want to let you all know I thank you all for your prayers and your financial support for this particular area, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We did not do a broadcast last Sunday because of the horrific tornado that came through our lovely city of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And it's going to be a long road to recovery. I just thank the Most High, but there was no deaths. We had a few injuries in the metro area, but no deaths. We had a lot of destruction throughout the Midtown area, which is a district of the greater Hattiesburg, Mississippi area, which encompasses the University of Southern Mississippi and the historical Mobile Street area. So, and because of the tornado that we did have, I will not be able to bring anyone from the African American Military Museum right here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. They've got a lot of work they've got to do far as recovery. So just wanted to let you all know that the update that's going on here and throughout, you can, if you want to donate or get involved, go to redcross.com and you can look at the disaster relief that we have going on right here in Hattiesburg, Metro Mississippi area, which encompasses the Oak Grove area as well as Petal, Mississippi area. All of that makes up the Metro Hattiesburg, Mississippi area. So on that note, we thank you for your support and your prayers. Now we are going to Joshua chapter 10, verse 13, and this will let you know why the Book of Jasher was important. Now, why is it that they taken out the Book of Jasher out of the Bible. Now, we're probably going to go ahead and discuss that at a later date on our CSI show. That is Crime Scene Investigation. We do that every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. But right now, we are doing the Book of Jasher, and Joshua mentions the Book of Jasher in verse 13. He says, "And the sun stood still, the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies." And Joshua makes a notation. He says, "Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hastened not to go down about a whole day." So, one of the books that Joshua, the Most High, told Joshua to meditate on was the Book of Jasher. So, Joshua meditated on the word, not just the word that he had written, but the word the Most High had brought forth from the Book of Jasher. So you will notice that the Book of Jasher is mentioned in Joshua chapter 10, verse 13. And now we are going to go ahead and get ready to do the continuation of the Book of Jasher. And my lovely wife, Amy Jo Heron, will be reading. She will be our official reader for the Book of Jasher. We've got 90 chapters, about 90 chapters in this book. So we're not going to do all 90 chapters today, but we're going to do about maybe 2 chapters tonight. And that is chapter 16. So I want you all to give a warm applause and welcome to my lovely wife, Amy Jo Heron. Miss Heron, it is so good to have you on board here on our Sunday night broadcast, Let's Talk. And if you would, let's go ahead and do the reading of the Book of Jasher, chapter 16, starting with verse 1 and continuing on.
Okay, that's Jasher chapter 16, verse 1. At that time, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, sent to all the neighboring kings, to Narad, king of Shinar, who was then under his power, and to Tidal, king of Goyim, and to Arch, king of Elijah, with whom he made a covenant, saying, "Come up to me, and assist me, that we may smite all the towns of Sodom and its inhabitants, for they have rebelled against me these 13 years." Chapter 2, verse 2. And these 4 kings went up with all their tents, about 800,000 men, and they went as they were, and smote every man they found in their road. Verse 3. And the 5 kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom king of Ahem, Shemeber king of Zaboyim, Bera king of Sodom, Bersha king of Gomorrah, and Bela king of Zoar, went out to meet them, and they all joined together in the valley of Sidon. Verse 4. And these 9 kings made war in the valley of Sidon, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah was smitten before the king of Elam. Verse 5. And the valley of Sodom was full of lime pits, and the king of Elam pursued the king of Sodom. And the kings of Sodom with their camps flee and fell into the lime pits, and all that remained went to the mountain for safety. And the 5 kings of Elam came after them, pursued them, to go to the gate of Sodom. And they took all that there was in Sodom. Verse 6, and they plundered all the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, and they also took Lot and Abram's brother's son and his property, and they sued all the goods of the city of Sodom, and they went away. And eunuch, Abram's servant, who was in the battle, saw this, and told Abram all that the king had done to the cities of Sodom, and that Lot was taken captive by them. Verse 7, and Abram heard this, and he rose up with about 318 men that were with him. And he that night pursued those kings and smote them. And they all fell before Abram and his men. And there was none remaining but the 4 kings who flee, and they went each his own road. Verse 8, and Abram recovered all the property of Sodom, and he also recovered Lot and his property, his wife and little ones, and all belonging to him, so that Lot lacked nothing. Verse number 9, and when he returned from smiting these kings, he and his men passed the valley of Sodom, where the kings had made war together. Verse number 9, and when he returned from smiting these kings, he and his men passed the valleys of Sodom, where the kings had made war together. Well, verse number 10, and Bera, king of Sodom, and the rest of his men that were with him went out from the lime pit into which they have fallen to meet Abram and his men. Verse number 11, and Adonizekul, king of Jerusalem, the same word Shehem, went out with his men to meet Abram his people, which with bread and wine, and they remained together in the valley of Melechith. And Adonijah blessed Abram, and Abram gave him a tenth from all that he had brought from the spoil of his enemies. From Adonijah was a priest before God. Verse number 13, and all the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah who were there with their servants approached Abram and begged of him to return them their servants who he had made captive, and to take unto himself all the property. Verse number 14, and Abram answered the kings of Sodom, saying, as the Lord liveth, who created heaven and earth, and who redeemed my soul from all affliction, and who delivered me this day from my enemies, and gave them into my hands, I will not take anything belonging to you, that you may not boast tomorrow, saying, Abram, because rich from our poverty, well, Abram became rich from our property that he saved. Verse number 15, for the Lord my God, in whom I trust, saying unto me, thou shalt lack nothing, for I will bless thee in all the works of thy hands. Verse number 16 says, and now therefore, behold, here is all belonging to you. Take it and go. As the Lord liveth, I will not take from you, from a living soul, down to a shoe tie of thread, excepting the expense of the food of those who went out with me to battle, as alone the portion of men who went with me, Adner, Ashcol, and Manrah, they and their men, as well as those who had remained to watch the baggage. They shall take their portion of the spoil. Verse number 17 says, and the kings of Sodom gave Abram according to all that he had said, that pressed him to take of whatever he chose, but he would not. Number 18 says, and he sent away the kings of Sodom, and the remainder of their men, and he gave them orders about Lot, and they went to their respective places.
Okay, Ms. Sharon, let's go ahead and stop right there.
Okay.
I just want everybody to just kind of look and see what is being set up here. Before Sodom and Gomorrah fell, they were had favor because of Lot. If Lot was not in the city, it's a possibility that Sodom and Gomorrah was not going to be saved at that particular time. But before the wickedness of and evil of everything that was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, they had favor with the Most High because Abraham's nephew Lot was with them. Therefore, they didn't fall. But you know, as we get closer to the fall of Sodom and Gomorrah, you know that Lot and his family must come out of Sodom and Gomorrah before this destruction. I just wanted to just kind of let you all get a feel of what is happening before the fall of Sodom and Gomorrah. Go ahead, Ms. Herring, continue with verse 18.
Actually, verse number 19. And Lot, his brother's son, he also sent away with his property, and he went with them. And Lot returned to his home. To Sodom, and Abram and his people returned to their home, to the plains of Mamre, which is in Hebron.
Okay, we will go ahead and wait for Ms. Herring to call back in, and she will be joining us momentarily. But while we're waiting for her momentarily, let me go ahead and read verse 20. But before I do that, let me go ahead and start back at number 18. And he sent away the king of Sodom. And he sent away the kings of Sodom and the remainder of their men. And he gave them about Lot. And they went to their respective places. Verse number 19. And Lot, his brother's son, he also sent away with his property, and he went with them, and Lot returned to his home, to Sodom, and Abram and his people returned to their home, to the plains of Mamre, which is in Hebron. Let's join Amy Jo back at verse 20. Amy Jo, go ahead and pick up at verse 20.
Yes, sir. Verse 20 says, at that time the Lord again appeared to Abram in Hebron, and he said to him, do not fear. Thy reward is very great before me, for I will not leave thee until I shall have multiplied thee, and bless thee, and made thou seed like the stars in heaven, which cannot be measured nor numbered. Verse number 21 says, and I will give unto thy seed all land.
Hold up. Back up. Read that again. Verse 20.
Number 21 says, and 20, I will
20.
give.
Verse 20.
Number 20? Well,
yes.
Verse 20 says, at that time the Lord again appeared to Abram in Hebron. And he said to him, do not fear. Thy reward is very great before me, for I will not leave thee until I shall have multiplied thee, and bless thee, and made thou seed like the stars in heaven, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Stop. Right, I got to elaborate on that. Now, look at this. In verse 20, the Most High appeared to Abram again in Hebron, and he said something to him. Do not fear, thy reward is very great before me. For I will not leave thee until I shall have multiplied thee and blessed thee and made thy seed like the stars in heaven, which cannot be measured nor numbered. Now, when you see this right here, Abram, which is still Abram, not Abraham yet, Abram turned down the world's reward and knew that he was going to be blessed by the Most High's reward. The Most High appeared to him again in Hebrew and told him about what is getting ready to happen. Abram refused the world's reward, even though he saved Sodom and Gomorrah at that time and had great favor with the kings there. He turned that little mediocre reward down that they had, even though it was great in man's eyes, but he wanted the reward of the Most High. Go ahead to verse 21.
Verse 21 says, And I will give unto thy seed all these lands that thou seest with thine eyes. To them will I give them for an inheritance forever. Only be strong.
Hold up.
Okay.
I had to. Let me go ahead and look. Let's see here. Now, this is Abraham. Now, Abraham has got to have a promised people. Now, look at this verse again. Let me read it. And I will give unto thy seed all these lands that thou seest with thy eyes. To them will I give them for an inheritance forever. How long is forever?
Forever.
Forever is forever?
Forever.
Wow. Only be strong and do not fear. This is where we got the people of the Most High. We've got to stand and stand in faith and not in fear. When you have faith like Abraham, our father Abraham did, then fear is cast out. And then that's when you're walking in the miraculous. You've got to walk by faith. And in order for you to walk by faith, you got to know this word right here that we're talking about. Only be strong and do not fear. Walk before me and be perfect. Now, he says be perfect. So in order for us to be perfect, we got to know what is he saying being perfect of. Go ahead and continue with verse 22.
Verse 22. And in the 78th year of the life of Abram, in that year died Rem, the son of Peleg, and all the days of Rem were 239 years, and he died. Verse number 23. And Sarai, the daughter of Hanran, Abram's wife, was still barren in those days. She did not bear to Abram either son or daughter. Verse number 24 says, And when she saw that she bare no children, she took her handmaid Hagar, whom Pharaoh had given her, and she gave her to Abram, her husband, for a wife.
Hold up. I just want to look at that real quick. Let's back up. We know that Pharaoh gave his handmaiden to Hagar to Sarai, whom Pharaoh had given her, and she gave her to Abram, her husband, for a wife. Now, in some instance, that the Most High is not I gotta say this. Now, we are in a Babylon society. The Most High has no problem with the man having 2 wives, nor 3, nor 4, nor 5, and on, like King David did. And we're going to get to that, and we're going to look at this, because what was the issue with King David and the Most High is King David took another man's wife. And the Most High, we talking about God saying this. He's saying, the Most High saying, if that was not enough for you, speaking of wives, plural, wives, he said, I would have given you more, but you have taken another man's wife. The Most High is all about covenant, all about this commitment on our part that we must do. Go ahead and read verse 24, Amy Jo, again. Verse 24.
Verse 24, and when she saw that she bare no children, she took her handmaid Hagar, whom Pharaoh had given her, and she gave her to Abram, her husband, for a wife. Verse number 25, for Hagar learned all the ways of Sarah, as Sarah told her. She was not in any way deficient in following her good ways. Verse number 26, and Sarah said to Abram, behold, here is my handmaid Hagar. Go to her, that she may bring forth upon my knees, that I may also obtain children through her. Verse number 27 says, and at the end of 10 years of Abram's dwelling in the land of Canaan, which is the 85th year of Abram's life, Sarah gave Hagar unto him. Verse number 28 says, and Abram hearkened to the voice of his wife Sarah, and as he took his handmaid Hagar, and Abram came to her, and she conceived. Verse number 29 says, and when Hagar saw that she had conceived, she rejoiced greatly, and her mistress was despised in her eyes. And she said within herself, this can only be that I am better before God, that Sarah, my mistress, for all the days that my mistress had been with my Lord, she did not conceive, but me the Lord had caused in so short a time to conceive by him. Verse number 30 says, and when Sarah saw that Hagar had conceived by Abram, Sarah was jealous of her handmaid. And Sarah said within herself, this is surely nothing else but that she must be better than I. Verse number 31 says, and Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee, for at the time when thou doest pray before the Lord for children, why didst thou not pray on my account, that the Lord shall give me seed from thee? Verse number 32 says, and when I speak to Hagar in thy presence, she despised my words, because she had conceived, and thou wilt say nothing to her. Let the Lord judge between me and thee for what thou had done to me. Verse number 33 says, and Abram said to Sarah, behold, thy handmaid is in thy hand. Do unto her as it may seem good in thy eyes. And Sarai afflicted her, and Hagar fled from her to the wilderness. Verse number 34, and an angel of the Lord found her in the place where she had fled by a well. And he said to her, do not fear, for I will multiply thy seed. For thou shalt bear a son, and thou shalt call his name Ishmael. Now they returned to Sarah, thy mistress, and submit themselves under her hands. Verse number 35 says, and Hagar called the place of that well Beerley Roda. It is between Kadesh and the wilderness of Bedred. Verse number 36 says, and Hagar at that time returned to her master's her master's house. And at the end of days, Hagar bare a son to Abram. And Abram called his name Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when he begot him.
Okay, let's stop right there. We're going to go ahead and go to chapter 17. But as you can see, the account of when, I know the Gathering of Christ had talked about this just for real briefly about multiple wives and all the things that go on with multiple wives. In the Western world, they do not practice this. In some sets, they do not practice multiple wives situation. But in most African countries, this is still being practiced. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you just can't take it out of content. I know in South Africa, even the president of South Africa currently has close to about maybe 4 to maybe 6 wives. I think he may have divorced one. But the law says that, I'm talking about biblical law, the law says that you must treat each wife as there shouldn't be any kind of favoritism on that. And you can see the accounts of our father Jacob, to where he had 2 wives, as well as his wives giving their handmaidens to him so he can bear those other children. This lets us know that where all these children came from is from the 12 tribes of Israel. This is where the 12 tribes of Israel came from. They came from the 2 wives as well as their concubines that they had. All right, now we're fixing to go ahead and get into the book of Jasher with just 15 minutes left. We're going to try to maybe get to either half or all of this. I think we're probably going to go ahead and end at the book of Jasher after chapter 17, and we'll pick back up chapter 18 on next Sunday, because this is getting ready to go into where the name changed from Abram to Abraham. And I think this is going to, you see some of this in the book of Genesis, but you get more detail in the book of Jasher. So, Amy Jo, if you will go ahead and get started with Jasher chapter 17.
Okay, Jasher chapter 17, verse 1. And in those days, in the 91st year of the life of Abram, and the children of Chetam made war with the children of Tubal. For when the Lord had scattered the sons of men upon the face of the earth, the children of Chetam went and embodied themselves in the plain of Kenopia, and they built themselves cities. There would dwell by the river Tibera. Verse 2, and the children of Tabeel dwell in Tuscana, and these boundaries reached the river Tibera, and the children of Tabeel built a city of Tuscany, and they called the name of Sabina after the name of Sabina, sons of Tubal, their father, and they dwell there unto this day. Verse number 3, and it was at that time the children of Chetam made war with the children of Tubal, and the children of Tubal were smitten before the children of Chetam. And the children of Chetam caused 370 men to fall from the children of Tubal. Verse 4, and at that time the children of Tubal sworn to the children of Chetam, saying, you shall not intermarry among us, and no man shall give his daughter to any of the sons of Chetam. Verse 5, for all the daughters of Tubal were in those days fair, for no women were being found in the whole earth so fair as the daughters of Tubal. Verse 6, and all who delighted in the beauty of women went to the daughters of Tubal and took wives from them. And the sons of men, kings and princes, who greatly delighted in the beauty of women, took wives in those days from the daughter of Tabeel. Verse 7, and at the end of 3 years, after the children of Tabeel had sworn to the children of Chittim not to give them their daughters for wives, about 20 men of the children of Chittim went to take some of the daughters at Tabeel, but they found none. Verse 8, for the children of Tabeel kept their oaths not to intermarry with them, and they would not break their oaths. Verse 9, and in the days of harvest, the children of Tabeel went into their field to get in their harvest. When the young men of Chittim assembled and went to the city of Sabiah, and each man took a young woman from the daughters of Tabeel, and they came to their cities. Verse 10, and the children of Tabeel heard of it, and they went to make war with them, and they could not prevail over them, for the mountain was exceedingly high from them. And when they saw they could not prevail over them, they returned to their land. Verse number 11, and at the revolution of the year of children, the children of Tabeel went and hired about 10,000 men from those cities that were near them, and they went to war with the children of Siddim. Verse number 12, and the children of Tabeel went to war with the children of Midian to destroy their land and to distress them. And in this engagement, the children of Tabeel prevailed over the children of Midian. And the children of Midian, seeing that they were greatly distressed, lifted up the children which they had by the daughters of Tabeel upon the walls which had been built to be before the eyes of the children of Tabeel. Verse number 13 says, and the children of Simeon said to them, have you come to make war with your own sons and daughters? And have we not been considered your flesh and bones from that time to now? Verse 14 says, and when the children of Tabeel heard this, they ceased to make war with the children of Simeon, and they went away. Verse number 15 says, and they returned to their cities, and the children of Chittim at that time assembled and built 2 cities by the sea, and they called one Peru and the other Ariza. Verse 16 says, and Abraham the son of Terah was then 99 years old. 17 says, at that time the Lord appeared to him, and he said unto him, I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will greatly multiply the seed, and this is the covenant which I make between me and thee, that every male child be circumcised, thou and thy seed after thee. Verse number 18 says, at 8 days old shall it be circumcised, and this covenant shall be in the flesh, your flesh, for an everlasting covenant. Verse 19 says, and now therefore thy name shall no more be called Abram, but Abraham, and thy wife shall no more be called Sarai, but Sarah. Verse 20, for I will bless you both, and I will multiply your seed. After that you shall become a great nation, and kings shall come forth from you.
Okay, that is the end of the book of Jasher, chapter 17, and you see that there's a little bit of bloodline going with the children of Tubal as well as the children of Chittim when they raised up, because how can you fight your own people? So that is the reason why they had those children raised up, because they were the children of their own flesh, because they came into that and they had those children there, and that's the reason what saved them from that war that they were getting ready to have. that's going to do it with us. We've got about 10 minutes to go. I want to see if anyone has any questions or any comments about the Book of Jasher that we just got through. But I see everyone look like they're pretty satisfied with that. But we're going to probably go ahead and cut it short, not go into overtime. But we're going to go ahead and end the show here. I want to thank my lovely wife again for being our reader. I just want to tell you, my baby, you took a lot of pressure off of me by elaborating as well as reading this to the audience. So I think we're going to be a great team, and I look forward to next Sunday and every Sunday that we'll be reading the Book of Jasher, and we'll get a understanding of the Most High's Word as we go into the Book of Jasher. So everyone, I want you all to join with us again next Sunday, and we will go ahead and get started on the Book of Jasher, chapter 18, and now there's a name change now. There's a name change in the Book of Jasher, chapter 18, and that is going to be Abram's now name will be Abraham, and that is in the Book of Jasher, chapter 18. Don't forget, everyone, on Tuesday is Crime Scene Investigation. We are continuing with identity theft of our book. Identity theft of our book. We will get more into that, and that's going to be CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, on Tuesday right here. And also we're going to go on Thursday. It's going to be, again, Let's Talk, not this week, but next week following. Pastor Maurice Item will be with us, and he's going to share his journey, his experience, how he came into the truth from the already organized religion that he was already in. So join us on February the 28th for Let's Talk on Thursday with Brother Maurice and Pastor Maurice Item. He will be with us right here on the broadcast. So until next time, next Sunday, I'm Maurice Heron, a.k.a. Malachi, along with my lovely wife, Amy Jo Heron. We will see you next Sunday on the Book of Jasher. And I'm going to leave you here with Hen featuring Uriah, I Know Who You Are.
I say, I know who you are. Yeah, I say, I know who you are. Come on, we stiff-necked, we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out, we ignorant, we proud, rebellious,
I know who you are, boy, you need some help. Open your mind and free yourself. Truth and knowledge overpowers wealth. Put education on the shelf and take a second look and see which route you took. You fall in love with a bunch of crooks and forget you're the children of that book. To the enemies they told you, made you believe anything they told you, and left you with two decisions: either choose death or choose religion. But you fell off Jacob's ladder and chose to listen to the master. Got caught in the devil's rapture. Now your life is a whole disaster.
Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're going. We stiff-necked, we wild, we on the corner, wildin' out, we ignorant, we proud, rebellious, I style.
We're the only ones can't see it. Got a truth but don't believe it. Cursed with being disobedient. The days enslaved in Egypt. Then Moses said, let my people go. Still we act like we ain't know who was our father. We didn't even bother to listen. And not to mention we blatantly worship others. We went from one to another. We threw stones at our brothers. When they was trying to just bring us back to the truth, there's nothing wrong with that. Like Stephanos in the Book of Jasher. All he did was take it back.
Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're going. We proud, rebellious, our style.
I know the keepers of the law were standing tall, staying righteous above them all. What's the call, coach? The other teams fit with many men that's lost hope, cause they don't know the identity, but I do, so they envy me. Cause you're a nation of people that's so rebellious, accusers of your brother. When he speaks the truth, you get jealous. But I stay one accord with all my righteous fellas, cause we know who we are, there's nothing else that you can tell us. Nothing.
Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're going. Yeah, I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I know where you're going. We wild, we on the corner, wildin' out. We ignorant, we proud, rebellious, our style to be like them. We try our own culture, we deny.